there may be times in your life in general that you might feel very, very guilty for the gifts that were given unto you. And I don't mean physical worldly gifts. I mean God-given gifts that was given to you in some way, shape, or form, or just whatever you can do. And sometimes this can really hinder us in life because this guilt can stop us from moving forward and doing what we need to do in this world and using our gifts correctly to aid the world in whatever case, in whatever unique way we can do it. But the reason why you might feel so much guilt is that because sometimes it feels like other people around you don't have the same ability as you, or they might not necessarily be getting as much praise. And you might notice that this might be happening around you. And oftentimes you'll also start to see over time that it's hard and it's very difficult for people to kind of like be around you if you do have certain gifts and they don't possess those same type of gifts. Some people, they might admire it, like initially, but sometimes it can be very difficult to sit there and watch somebody else prosper in their gifts or do something really well if you yourself you don't know what you can do. You know what I mean? Like, you don't know what gifts you have. You don't, or you feel like you don't have any gifts and the other person is so good at it. Sometimes you can even try to, people might mimic you for the gifts that you got, and then they might have some more resentment towards you, because what they'll inevitably come to the conclusion is that you truly do have a gift. Sometimes you'll do stuff and you make it look easy, and other people, they don't, they just can't understand it. Like, how is it that you have that ability and they don't have the same ability? Like, how can you do things so proficiently or do it in such a way where it's oh, my bad. Oh, thank you. But just in general, it's like, you might feel bad for these things. And, I think that sometimes the legacy that you got to live when you do know what your gifts is, because the fact of the matter is, a lot of people on this earth, they have gifts, but oftentimes what we're programmed to do is to run away from ourselves in a lot of ways, and try to be like everybody else. When we're trying to be like everybody else, we're inherently running away from ourselves because we're not the same. Everybody's not the same. People have different gifts. But our societal construct and how the way people's brains and everything is wired is everybody needs to be the very same. And so it can be scary, even those who have gifts. It's extremely scary for even those individuals to really truly express what they can do, because they know what's going to happen. They know the backlash. Half of the time, sometimes your gift might be unique enough that nobody's ever done whatever you've done, or what you're daring to do. So sometimes it's scary for people to even step out there and truly broadcast their gifts, because we have a culture of assimilation. You need to be like everybody else. If you don't do what everybody else do, people look at you like you're the weird one, you're the crazy ones, you're this. And then oftentimes when you don't act how other people act, people, they don't want to be around people who are different from who they are. Sometimes people, they get very they reject, as we as humans, one of our human qualities, one of our natures as humans, when we don't understand something, we reject it. We get away from it. We condemn it in a way because we don't get it. We don't understand why something is different in general. And so oftentimes that's just human nature. They're going to reject it, And so, people, they out there, they have their gifts. They're afraid to be rejected. But again, our culture in general is a culture of assimilation. So most people, they have no clue what they can do. They have no clue of who God put them on this earth to be, because their entire lives, they've been programmed to act just like everybody else. So people naturally don't even know who they are. They don't, you know what I mean? And people, they have to want to try to change. They want to cultivate those gifts and try to figure out who they are. But it's very difficult for a lot of people to do that and step out and truly start to figure out who they are and find out their gifts, But with all this being said, you might be an individual where you actually did have that courage to go in and find yourself and find out who you are, and then recognize the gifts that you have. You know what I mean? And you're actually expressing them. You're actually using them for whatever reason. You're using them for the good, for God, right? And again, you can be so good at certain things that other people, they will have a problem with you. They'll start to look at you a certain type of way. They try to treat you a certain type of way. You might have never had any problems with certain individuals, but at a certain point, especially when you start to get a little bit of success under your belt, you start to see this resentment, and it's like people, they have all this animosity towards you, and you don't really understand what has happened. Why are you getting this unwarranted animosity from people when you definitely have never retaliate, or you never put that energy out there towards people? So you don't quite grasp why exactly is it that I'm getting this type of behavior from people when I'm not displaying the same way towards them. You know what I mean? And this could be frustrating. But inevitably, you sometimes again you will come to the conclusion, you realize it's the gifts that you got. Because when people attack you, they'll attack your gifts. They'll attack what you can do. It's like you'll recognize how people, they will invalidate literally your existence. Anything you do, anything you say, regardless of how you move or whatever the case may be, somebody got something negative to say. They got something to say to invalidate it. And when you're younger, you might fall into a trap because it can be, you be invalidated by those who you think is supposed to be there to protect you, to actually build you up. So you'll take what they're saying as serious, you know what I mean? And so they can have a very damaging effect on your mental frame, because they set you up with a broken mindset, a mindset that you should go against yourself, a mindset that that you're inherently flawed. They do this on purpose. They're invalidating you on purpose. And the reason being is because they don't want you to express them gifts no more. They don't want you to have them. A lot of people, they'll be upset that you have gifts and they think they don't have any. They don't feel adequate enough. And then they look at you and they see that you everything but. And so you get this hate towards from people. People, again, they you know, it's just human nature that when something is different, people naturally reject it. If they don't understand it, they reject it. And then the other thing is that when people feel like they are not as good as the next man, they will hate that next man. They will hate them, especially if they're from the same block. They came up together, because it's ego that's running the show. The jealousy and everything like that. The pride, you know, it's inside that, like, you know, it's hard for a lot of people. If they don't work on themselves, it's hard for them to control them damn demons. And so they rob their damn back. And then you're going to be prime target number one. Sometimes, again, it gets to a point where you do know your gifts, but then you start to feel guilty for what you can do. You feel guilty for what God gave you. It's like you looking at God sometimes like, God, why did you give me this gift? And you be like, man, you wish that everybody else, they can have the same type of success. You wish that everybody else could understand like how much God got love for them too. And he gave them the same thing. Like he pours into you, he can pour into other people, but it's like they don't want to look at that. They don't want to see that, and they're not trying to acknowledge it. I think it's a plethora of reasons as to why. I think sometimes people, they just want to be who they are, and they don't want any pushback, and they want to have all the things in the world. You know what I mean? Like they understand this component of God. You got to go through things. A lot of people out there, they're not trying to go through nothing. They're not trying to go through these hardships and all this alienation and stuff like that you're going to get in this world, because you're not assimilating to what this world is telling you you need to be. It's the damn devil that's doing all this. The devil wants everybody to be the same. He controls people, he manipulates people, he forces everybody to do the very same thing as the next man, because in doing so, he can control everybody. But when God gave everybody something different, he can't control people that are different. He can't control those type of people. At least not, he don't get me wrong, he has different avenues to control those people, but he doesn't have that as much of an effect in comparison to that of those that God made different on purpose. But you feel guilty. You'll feel guilty over time, because you feeling like you sometimes feel like you don't deserve it. And trust and believe me, not only you might not feel that, but oftentimes what will happen is that people out here in this world that's going against you, they will work day and night to try to make it seem as though you have no value, have no worth, and that you are not actually good at anything. They will know that you have these gifts and talents and things of that nature, but because they don't have it and they hate to see you with it, they hate to see the success that you might have with certain qualities about yourself, whatever you can do, whatever gifts that you have, and they feel like they don't have those same type of gifts, they're going to tear you down. They're going to try to make it seem as though you're insignificant, you're irrelevant. But you'll see over time how they spend such a large part of time staring at you, kind of come at you. You're so insignificant, but yet they spend a significant amount of time on your life. Why is that? Why is that? Well, the reason being is because you are very significant in a lot of people's lives. Your gifts are good. Your gifts are, but it's that damn devil getting through people. And it's people who don't work on themselves. They don't want to work on themselves. They let the damn devil ride their back something heavy. And so you prime target number one. And then these people will make it seem as though you don't deserve whatever you have, that you're unworthy of having it, because they feel like they're more worthy than you are. They feel like their gifts and whatever they're doing is more worthy than you. Even though it's crazy, because it's like these people live in a state of confusion. They want to be you. They want to be in your spot. They want to have the gifts and the talents, but yet in the same vein, they want to dismiss you. They don't want to respect you. They want to respect what you do. They don't want to respect none of these things. They admire it, but then they hate you for having it. It is a crazy conundrum that these people in this chaotic realm that they stay in. The only value that they will get about being around you and seeing those gifts is that they can take them away from you. If they can beat you down enough and they can get your self-esteem and they can distort your actual true depiction of who you are. If they can distort that and they can make it in such a way where they get you to doubt yourself, if they get you to doubt yourself, that is their overall goal, so they can tear you down and so you'll never ever manifest those gifts. They'll try to take you and put you in the back room, close the door, and then they will demonize you for your gifts. They will demonize you for what you can do. They will twist it and make it into a bad thing. And the reason they're doing all this is because they don't want you to express them. They want you to think that you're inherently flawed, that doing those things is stupidity. But truthfully, what it is these people, they can see it on you that you can do very well in this life with your gifts. And they just simply do not want it to exist. So people will start campaigns since the time that you are born to make you feel inadequate, to make you feel like you are guilty, or they're trying to make push shame on you. They don't try to. They do all of these things. You know what I mean? Like, again, they invalidate every step that you make, and it's intentional what they're doing. They want you to be extremely timid. They don't want you to have the confidence. They don't want you to seek validation from your interior. They want you to accept pine after validation that comes from them. Because if you pine after the validation that comes from them, they are already the worst of the damn devil. When you are always going to be in a place of lack. You won't always be in a place of hurt. You won't always be in a place of this dark, abysmal despair because of the people that's around you. It's because of the people that how they're trying to break you down. They don't want you to look within because they know damn well when you look within, you won't find God. That's why they have to make it seem as though your very existence, they want to invalidate it. But with all that being said, this is where I'm talking about where this guilt comes from. This is a portion of where that guilt comes from. It comes from those around you. It comes from what society is trying to beat you down because you're not acting like everybody else. Your gifts are whatever. And other people, they're envious that they don't have those same qualities. Not everybody. Some people might have a legitimate problem with you for whatever reason. So it's not like everybody on the face of the earth. But when you have discernment and you watch people over a period of time and you know doggone well that you're doing your best to right wrongs that y'all in whatever relationship y'all in, and you see that you're still getting all this heat, that's when you realize, man, this ain't got nothing to do with me. It's got everything to do with these people. But that guilt will hold you down. That guilt will stop you from expressing yourself. You'll start to retreat in a shell because you're like, oh, I don't want to offend people. I don't want to offend people in the sense that I don't want them to think that I think that I'm better than them. I don't want to do this and try to hurt other people's feelings and stuff like that. I know some people listening to this is like, dude, why would you ever allow that stuff to happen? It's because you got love for people. Sometimes you really do think, okay, and again, you're getting this information and you're getting this criticism from those who you expect to have your best interests at heart. So you take what they're saying and you give it more validity, you give it more gravity because you believe these people are telling you the truth. But the fact of the matter is they never were. They were lying to you since day one. Everything they was doing was wrong since day one. But they want to make you think that their perception of reality is the right one. And they want you to look after their validation because they know that they will never give it to you. They will keep you broken. And they keep you in this space of shame, this toxic shame and guilt. Toxic shame and guilt. So this is one of those components where you might feel guilty. And on the other side is you really wish that everybody else couldn't see the value in themselves. You really go out there and try to help people to find their gifts, their talents, and who they are, to be themselves. Sometimes it's about being yourself, and you will naturally start to find things that's more towards you. Some people, they will love to go horseback riding, but because everybody around them, they think that stuff is weird and stupid. The person that they want to go horseback riding, they hold themselves back. They're not themselves because they don't want everybody else to see that they like horseback riding because they know it's going to be some form of alienation. And it's not even, it could literally anything that's outside of what the social dynamic that you're in, it could be anything outside of what they deem is good or credible or that is normal behavior. Like, for example, you could grow up in the inner city and then you went camping. You know how many people sit there and judge you? You know how many people sit there and look at you all crazy? They'll talk about you behind your back and stuff like that. You know how many of these people would do that? Because you went camping, because you wanted to go camping. You see what I'm saying? But oftentimes what people would allow to happen is they allow the people in their potential judgment against them, or and they might know that they're going to get judged because they see how other people get judged for doing something that's different. So they're going to hide that aspect of them. And to a large degree, they feel terrible inside because they know they're acting from a place of fear because they don't want to be outcasted. They know that. They know that. But they're able to mold it over or dwell in this energy where they never take that step forward as long as everybody else is doing it around them. But this is why people will hate you even more when you are doing something that's outside of whatever everybody say is the norm. It's because they're looking at you like you have the courage to go do something that they didn't have the courage to. And this is not about talking about people. It's not about putting them down. It's not about none of that stuff. It's just an understanding that this is just the reality of the situation. It's just the reality. They did not have the courage to go do something that was different. They never seen anybody else step out on that ledge and do something completely different to actually express their gifts and express who they are. So they feel like they got to assimilate. And so when they see somebody else doing it, it hits a chord. It hurts. That's why a lot of people don't want you to be yourself. They'll always nitpick you. Again, they will try to invalidate everything you do. And it's with the intention is they're upset and they're jealous that you have the ability to be who you are. You're not afraid of what people are going to be doing or whatever. And people, they will envy you for that. They will hate you for that. That's why sometimes you don't understand why you got all these problems. And you think it in your head. Again, that devil will get in your ear. And you get in your head, like people only jealous of you when you got something. When you got the money, when you got the females, you got the cars, you got the dudes or whatever. You think that's when they're going to be envious of you. So you're looking at it as you don't even think people will be envious and jealous of you because it's like, what do you have? These people have way more than you. And they will definitely try to rub that in your face. That's one of the biggest things that they'll do. Rub that in their face about what they have and you don't. But the reason why they're doing that is because you have something that they can never buy. You have something that takes a lot of work. You have your spirit, you have your interiors, you have your gifts. This is why they will go against you so hard. People, when they see you and you operating in your gifts, you operate who you are, it's a big reflection. You're a mirror. So when these people are attacking you, they're not even attacking you, they're attacking themselves. When they hate you so much, they don't really even hate you, they hate themselves. Because when they look at you, you're everything that they really wanted to be, but they chose the road where everybody else is going. It's not about condemnation. It's just the reality. It's just facts. Everybody been in that boat at one point in time or the other. But when you have the courage to get up and go do it, you have the faith that God got you. That even when you fall, He's going to pick you back up. You understand what I'm saying? When you got that type of faith and you jump out there, a lot of people, they're going to hate that. They don't want to see that because they've conformed. They've conformed to the society. They bought into the notion that their gifts are useless and they're useless as people in general. And that they're only good based on what they have in their pocket, what money they got in their pocket, where they live at, what the car they drive, and who's sleeping up in their bed. They bought into the society needs to validate me. These gifts and what I can do is not that important. It's not that important. And what they're doing is they're inherently going against themselves because they're inherently going against God. So they don't look within, they look on the outside. They look for external validation. And the world will tear you up left and right, day after day. It will tear you up because the world's validation comes from the damn devil. You see? But that guilt complex, that guilt hurts you in the sense that like you feel like, man, I wish that everybody else could understand what they can do. I wish that everybody else can understand, like, God is real. And God, if God gave it to me, He can give it to you too. That like, what I mean? Like you can spread, like, I'm not trying to get in your way and try to beat you in a race. We together. When you win, I win. You know what I mean? Like when I go up, you go up, and it's genuine. That's real. It's facts. It's not like you over there trying to play some type of game, like you over there trying to act like you something you not, just so people will look at you a certain type of way. No, I did as mean that. I mean that for real. Why? What good is it if I'm winning? If nobody else around me is winning, we can win together. Why would I just try to do it myself? But the reason why people will look at you in that way and they will hate you is because they conform to the competition aspect of it. And again, they're looking for external validation. So they feel like they cannot beat you in the competition. They feel like that you're over them. Even though you barely have anything, they still understand that your spirit side is higher. That's why they got all these problems. They understand your gifts. They understand these things. That's why they got to come against you so hard. You know, and that's why another aspect is you might feel that guilt and you understand that you ain't trying to show out in front of other people. You're not trying to do whatever and try to get other people to feel bad about themselves. But a lot of people, they know damn well that that's what they doing outside. They know damn well that whatever they do, they do it out of ego and pride. So a lot of people, they project onto you. So they think that you the same way as them, that you just fake, that you really ain't caring about other people. You just over here trying to just put on the act, and it's fake. And it's like, these people don't even, no, I don't like that, like this. I'm telling you, people be up thinking you fake. Because they know doggone well when they're doing the very same things as you, when they're saying the same things as you, they know they're being fake. They know that. They're not genuine. And so a lot of people, they can't fathom, and they don't ever want to fathom and really come to the conclusion that you might be real. Because if you are real, they have to, again, look at themselves. You're a mirror because they've conformed. They've been doing all this stuff that they know was wrong to their soul, but everybody else was doing it, so they were okay, as long as everybody else was doing it. And so they don't want you to exist. They don't want you to be real, because when you're real, it sheds a big light on them. You understand? This is why people have so much anger and animosity, hostility, and you haven't even said anything to them. You don't even know that they're there, but they're watching you. They're watching you. They're trying to make it seem as everything but they are. They are. And so when you grasp that concept and you realize this, you got to understand that you can't feel guilty for what you have, what God gave you. Sometimes you work hard for your gifts. Sometimes, you went through hell. You went through pure another hell to really even find out what you can really do. You have to really do a lot of self-work to get yourself back onto track and remove these false ideologies that the world gave you. Remove all these false ways of moving, and then let God redirect your path and actually put the right mind frame in you, the right way that you should be thinking. So you might feel guilty that you can do things that other people can't. Sometimes you got to understand that that's just a part of the journey. That's a part of the role that you might have to take. You might feel guilty because you feel like everybody else going up against you because of what you can do, and you ain't even necessarily asked for it. You ain't do nothing, but it's like, you got to understand sometimes the legacy that you got to walk. You got to just walk in that. And I know it don't feel too good, but it's like, that's life. A lot of people, they're going to turn their back on you. They're not going to be there for you. It's like you're going to always be by yourself. It's because when people get close enough, they run away. They don't like what they see. Because again, you're a reflection, you're a mirror. So it's like a lot of people, they just can't be around you. That's why they push you in the way that they do. It's not even necessarily you, it's them. It's them. They see themselves in you. That is what they see. And they don't like what they see. Because again, their ego was telling them that there's something completely different. And they can't stand the side of you because they can't stand the side of who they truly are. But when you are battling these things, it's understandable that you just gonna have rough patches in your life that you don't really know what to do, and that you can't understand, you can't fathom why these people coming up against you in the way that they do. And you feel guilty because you can do stuff that other people may not necessarily be able to do. But you got to understand this, that you work hard for where you are in life. Yes, there's a lot of gifts that you have that God gave you. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. You didn't just conjure up no gifts by yourself. It was, it's always God. But in the same vein, that you had an option to choose your path in life, to walk being authentic and real, just in the same way that you chose that path, other people could have chosen that path. They could have chosen that path too, but they didn't. That's not to say and put them down, but it's like, it's an understanding that what the hell you have to go through to get where you are. A lot of people, they know the hell that you go through. But you'd be surprised, a lot of people, they be sitting there watching you, especially in the times of your life when you go through that pit season of your life. People be sitting there laughing at you, having the jolliest of times. People that you've left years ago that you don't even realize is still you forget these people is even existent anymore. You don't think these people is looking at you or nothing like that, but they are. But they are, and they're having a grand, jolly time to look at your calamity, looking at all the pain and the stuff that you're going through. A lot of people, man, that makes them happy to see you down on the ground like that. And you can't understand why, because you never came at people with that energy. You never did that back. And you thinking that something is inherently wrong with me. You feel the guilt again. You feel shame again. That's how that devil will get you and keep you trapped in a mental prison, so that you never express your gifts. You never break up out that shell and truly be who God told you you need to be on this earth. You know what I mean? So you sometimes you just got to understand that, again, the legacy that you might have to walk on this earth sometimes is understanding that a lot of people, first off, they will not understand you, and they will hate you for what you can do. They will hate you for what you can do. They will go against you, and they want you to have a mindset of a doormat. They want you to have a mindset of somebody that's just coming in to take from you and put you down and let you stay in that position. These people will come and stab you as many times in the back, and then they be acting quizzical, and they will be offended when you remove them out your life. They're offended by that. They can't believe that they only shoved 25 knives in your back. You didn't die. So what's the problem? This is people's mentality. And it's a bad mentality to stay around, because what they're saying is essentially is that it was not a big deal. They don't even understand the level of their crime. They don't get it. When it happens to them, they'll get it. When they're on the receiving end, they'll get it. And they will be out for blood when it happens to them. But with you, they want you to just brush the whole slate clean, bring them back into the fold so they can keep on stabbing you in the back, so they can keep on destroying you, so they can keep on taking from you. They want you to be stupid for them. They want you to be a damn fool. And they're offended when you're not doing that, when you're not a doormat. They're offended. And don't just think about this from just a position from, it's just, friends on the outside. Don't think about it just like, oh, it's just a relationship, it's just family. No, people are people. They're people. Human nature will trump any title, any length of time that you've known people. It trumps everything. And what I mean with that is if people got that envy, that hatred towards you, they got that spite, that jealousy towards you, they're going to go against you. They're going to attack you regardless of their title. Your parents could do this to you. Your siblings can do this to you. Your community members, your extended family, the people that you met at work, the friends that you've met. It has no doggone, when a person's spirit ain't right, that person ain't gonna be right. And sometimes the love you got for people will keep the damn devil in your life, because these people, they're not operating in the way where they're trying to pour into you. They're trying to destroy you. They're trying to destroy you, and they're upset that you're not allowing them to destroy you. You see what I'm talking about? This is where you have to understand you got to remove the guilt. And how do you remove the guilt? You got to understand that God gave you those things on purpose for a reason. Simply because people cannot handle what you can do and who you are. It has nothing to do with you. These people, they're not upset with you. Again, like I said before, you are a mirror to these people. It matters not what you do to help them. You could have gone out your way to help these type of people that's still gonna turn their back on you. You could have gone out your way to build them up, to let them know, man, I'm there for you. Even though they trespassed against you before, you chose to forgive and try to work on it. And it's like they keep on stepping over that boundary. And it gets to a point where you now gotta make the decision. You try with people over and over again, and every time they showed you that they don't give a damn about you, they're gonna keep on stabbing you in the back. They're gonna keep on trying to hurt you. And so that's when you realize, you have to remove the guilt that people be putting on top of you. Because they will do it. They will try it. The devil will get at you. He already knows. He knows how much you got love for people, how much you don't want to leave them, how much you've been trying to work with them all this time. But you recognizing your hands. These people have condemned you. They're forcing your hand. They're forcing you to be cold-hearted towards them. They're forcing you. Keeping these people in your life is equivalent to like keeping a lion in your home, roaming around, a wild lion, just walking around. And they get offended when you remove them. They get offended when you no longer are interacting with them, when you realize and you understand that these people are trying to destroy you. Even though you want the best for them, they want to destroy you. And one of the major tactics, I'm telling you, is that they will manipulate you and try to get back in so they can keep on stabbing you, trying to break you down, is guilt. Guilt. They understand the power of it. So this is where you have to understand you have gifts, but other people have gifts too. The thing is, they've never tried to truly cultivate those gifts, or whatever the situation is. But truthfully, it's not your fault. It's not. And you can't walk around thinking that you have to tolerate people's BS because of what you can do. You thinking you have to endure simply because of what you have, because God blessed it with you. You think that's a lifetime punishment that you have to endure. No, you don't. No, you don't. That guilt will keep you in systems and cycles with people who will kill you in the end. They will kill you. They will not let you get to your fulfillment. And it's out of selfishness. It's out of greed. It's out of their own insecurity. It has nothing to do with you. Nothing to do with you. And again, it takes time to truly understand what I'm talking about when you've tried to work on things with people, because you don't want to just let people go without cause. It's an understanding that you tried your best. And you know that the what you've done and how you've been trying to work with people, you know doggone well the problem ain't with you. You know that. And sometimes it takes you to go through hell to figure out, I got to let people go. I love them, but they don't love me. I want to help them, but they ain't trying to help me. I want them to see them live and prosperous. And I want the best for them, but they don't want the best for me. God ain't put you on this earth for you to feel guilty that he gave you what he gave you. A lot of people, again, they have the ability to do it. But the thing is, a lot of people, they don't want to do it. They don't want to go through the trauma. They don't want to go through the alienation. They don't want to go through and try to find something new. They want to do like everybody else is doing, but they just want to be on top. They want to be the creme de la creme on top, or at least better than you. You got to understand the spiritual component to this. This is why you can't fathom. You don't understand why you. The reason it's you is because the God in you. Those gifts came from God. Those essence, the way that you move, the way that you talk, the way you inspiring people and everything like that, it came from God. The reason why it's you and they keep coming after you, you don't understand why. It's because the God in you. That's why. That's why. And no, people will never tell you. They see it on you. They see it. They smell it on you. And they hated the beasts because they like, man, why can't that be me? Why they can't be me? This is how these people in they head think. They don't even realize that they got gifts too. They don't realize these things because they're so busy focusing on everybody else, what everybody else is doing, how everybody else is moving, how everybody else is going to think about them. They so focused on everybody else, they keep on forgetting the fact that when God gave you something, it's with you only. It's with you. A lot of people, they'll be mad at you and they want to make you feel guilty because they didn't have the courage to do what you did. Ain't got nothing to do with condemnation, but it got everything to do with facts and reality. So this is where I'm talking about, where you got to really understand the game and understand the atmosphere that you're in. Understand how when you're interacting with people, it's a lose-lose situation. You're never going to win. You're never going to win because it's been rigged from the very beginning. People going up against you for things that you have not, they've condemned you for things and crimes that you have not committed. Well, they're going to say that you're the one that committed it. They will set you up. They will do all these horrible, heinous things. And one of the biggest manipulation tactics they will use on you is guilt and shame. And if you are none the wiser and you don't understand how that damn devil works and how his kids be working out here, you'll be falling into that trap. You'll fall into the trap. You're only looking at people's faces. You're only looking at their titles. And you're handling them based off their titles. You're handling them based off their flesh. And what that means is you're keeping the damn devil around you. And it's just that simple. It's just that simple. And so you got to understand that the position that you put in this world, it's a beautiful one. You're going to go through it. You are going to go through it. You're going to go through hell. You're going to go through hell. But understand, like, just understand, like, even though you're going to go through complete and utter hell, since the time you born, you got people alienating against you. You got to walk this life alone, or at least in the physical. People that keep on stabbing you in the back. People, they always got some type of hidden agenda against you. People in secret competitions with you, trying to take you out, trying to beat you to feel like they better than you because their ego is bruised when they see you. It's like you got to understand the atmosphere that you in, the game, and what's really going on and what's really at play. People's egos and their pride is what is all they have, because they've abandoned who they were a very long time ago, because it's not what the people out in the world are doing. It's not what the people of the world would accept. So they've abandoned themselves a very long time ago. And so they understand now, they in the space in their life where they're at some deep subconscious level. They understand to a certain degree, it's not to be disrespectful or any negative. To a certain degree, they sold their soul to the damn devil, and they know that. They know that. A lot of times, again, it's like people, they will be upset with you because you have the integrity. You got what you got, and you ain't have to screw people over like they did. What they got, they know they have to screw people over. They know what they've done in the past. Again, they're okay with it to a certain degree. They're able to lie to themselves. They're able to live in the land of delusion as long as everybody else around them doing the same thing. But when they see you and you getting things and you're not screwing people over, do you know what that does to people? You are your target. You don't have to do evil towards people for them to do evil towards you. You don't have to do anything where that causes them not to like you, for them not to like you. You could be going over there helping people, building them up every day, every single day, spending all your money, spending all your time, working yourself down there to death. And the people will still hate you. The people you're doing it for will still hate you. Why is it so important? Because I'm telling you, it has nothing to do with you per se. It has to do with the God in you. That is why they go against you in the way that they do. So in understanding this, that guilt that people are trying to place onto you, understand it's a projection. When people in general, like everybody does this, the way that we think and the way that we move as an individual, we believe that everybody else in the world acts just like us. So that's why, again, like I was saying earlier, how you will be doing things and you genuine with it. People will think you're being fake. They think you fake because they know when they're doing it, they're being fake. A lot of that guilt that they got for they're shooting at you is for themselves. It's because they feel guilty. They feel wrong that they gave themselves up. To a certain degree, they sold their soul to the devil for popularity. They sold their damn soul for the devil for people of the world. And they hated that they did that on some deep subconscious level. A lot of these people, they lack self-awareness. You got to understand this too. I always say this. You got to understand how people lack self-awareness. And what self-awareness is, they understand that what happens out in the world, what triggers them, it's more likely not necessarily the external stimuli. The external stimuli is just simply bringing them back to something that they've done or a situation that they are not proud of. And so that, you know, like when I'm saying, like with, you know, they might not like exactly kind of like what you're doing, in the sense that, you know, they see you have integrity and stuff like that. Absolutely not. They're going to hate that. They're going to hate that. And they're going to hate it because it's like they know what they've done. They know what they've done. And so it's guilt. It's guilt. It's guilt. They're able to bury it and hide it down below. Oh, sorry, real bad. They're able to bury it to a certain degree. They're able to distract themselves as long as they don't see anybody else doing it. So the guilt that they push onto you half of the time, it's not even yours. It's not yours. They're pushing them demons onto you. It's not yours. It's manipulation and it's projection. They're upset of what they have done. They're upset about who they've been in the past. They feel guilty. And they don't want to see you fly. They don't want to see you flourish. They want you to see you as miserable as them. So they're going to throw that guilt onto you. And as long as you don't understand the damn devil, as long as you don't understand that you got to look at people from their spirit and not their flesh, people will be effective at holding you down. They'll be effective at grasping, and you'll be in this dark place thinking that you are inherently flawed, that something is wrong with you. They've been invalidating you so much that you're now timid. You don't understand what you're afraid to make a step forward because of the extreme criticism, the hyper criticism. You are in an isolated space, which people do on purpose. They do that stuff on purpose. It's not by accident. People know, that damn devil know, when you isolate people, it breaks people down. If they don't have that interior strength, if they don't have that spirit on the interior, it breaks people. It breaks them. And this is why much more insidious. And this is why you got to really look at the people who have done these things towards you and truly see them for who they are. You know how evil that is? How low down that is, and that people that you got love for, they did it on purpose. It's not by accident. They proactively go out there and tell lies on you to get everybody to turn their face away from you. It's on purpose. They make you out to be an enemy on purpose. You're an enemy to this world, but you might not necessarily be an enemy to people, but they turn their back on you. They got a problem with you. A lot of people, they jump on the bandwagon, they go against you, even though they might like you or whatever the case. They understand your value and they know how good you are for them. They still will turn on you because of the power of people, the fear that they're going to get rejected, the fear they're going to be outcasted, how they're doing with you. So they won't stand near you. They won't stand. That's why a lot of people will abandon you when you go through that pit season of your life, when you at the lowest of your lows. That's why they will abandon you. And it's a larger portion that are so happy, and they do that stuff on purpose. They know you're going through it, and they intentionally do not help you. They intentionally do not come around. They intentionally don't do. If they do come around, a lot of people, they're just trying to come around and get your information so they can take that information back to their damn crew of people where they over there laughing at you, talking about you, putting you down. They're experts on what you should have done in your life. They're such experts. It's crazy how they don't know how to use that same information for themselves, isn't it? Interesting. Because they don't look like they're at the top of their doggone game, but they can. Instead, people love to sit there and get on their high horse and look down on you. And the reason why they do that stuff, and you got all this hell, and it's another real quick isolating thing that you'll find yourself in, is the fact that a lot of people, they don't even know what you go through. They don't. There's a lot of people in this world, they will look at you and they will see that they don't see you go through all the struggles because you might not open up your mouth to them. You open up your mouth to God. A lot of people don't really know what you go through. A lot of people don't really know you. And they think that your life is so peaches and cream. They think that everything is easy. They think that you never have a bad day, that you get everything that you want. And it's a damn lie from the pits of hell. But it's this isolating factor that they're trying to get at. It's another mechanism that can reinforce that guilt complex on you. Everybody turning their back on you, what does that mean? That must mean that you're guilty of something. If everybody don't like you, that means that you're in the wrong or something is happening with you. A lot of people that's outside of, they don't truly understand what you would go through in your life. And so you'll tell people, or you'll try to express this to people, and you'll realize very quickly, a lot of people will be thinking that you're crazy. A lot of people think that you're thinking that you're something you better than what you are. They be looking at you like, who you think you are, Michael Jordan? You think that people will care about you that much? They might not say this to you verbally, but in their actions and how they will talk to you and stuff like that, or the tone that they'll have, it's kind of like that where they think you just full of yourself. They think you just full of yourself. They think that you think you something that you're not, and that people are not spending all that time doing all that evil towards you, that you just must be tripping. If everybody going up against you, that clearly means that you're something wrong with you. So you just trying to use this stuff, what you're talking about right now, as a cover up, claiming that these people are coming after you and they're grouping up and doing all this stuff. Ain't nobody got all that time for that. And so it's very invalidating yet again. That stuff will break you down on a whole nother level, because now you got to carry this cross by yourself. It feel like you got to carry all this stuff, this evil, this guilt, this shame and everything. And you feel even more burdened down, because now you really do think. Your interior knows that you're not crazy. Your interior knows what's going on. Your interior knows, but your external is telling you everything different. And so that's sometimes where you have to like really truly like hold on to God's hand. And this is what they be talking about. You got to hold on to God's hand. It's through these rough patches. It's through these pit seasons that you go through. But a lot of people, they be sitting there laughing at you, having the grandest of time. And they're happy to see you on the ground. Some people coming to you acting like they trying to help you, but truthfully, they just want information about you so they can go talk about you to other people. So they can go laugh at you to other people. And so you just might be in this dynamic and in just a very, very dark place, in your life. And guilt is riding your back. It's riding your back. But you got to understand this, that you have nothing guilty. You don't have to you don't have to feel guilt. That guilt does not belong to you. It's not to say that you're perfect. It's not to say that you went out there and did everything wrong. It's not to say that sometimes in your life that you did something wrong that you won't feel natural guilt. You know what I'm saying? But there's a lot of aspects in your life, especially if you're in this dynamic, the guilt is not yours, it's others. They hate to see you because you're a reflection to them. You're a reflection of who they truly are, not the false image that they want to believe that they are. They see they full authentic self when they look at you. They don't know what their gifts and their talents is. It's not because they don't have them. It's because they've been spending their whole life doing what everybody else is doing. They did not want to be outcasted. They did not want to be looked at in a certain type of way. So they assimilated. They conformed to what everybody else is doing. And people who knew they had gifts, they hid the gifts because they understand that when you act different, when you're doing something different, a lot of people, they're going to reject you. And they don't want to take that level of rejection. They don't. But you had that ability to do so. You had that courage. God gave you enough strength to do it and persevere through all that hate, through all that animosity, through all that stuff that these people be putting down on you, through those isolating periods, through that pit season where everything just was dried up. Your life was like a Sahara desert, like nothing. There was no life. It was a desert. But you kept on moving forward, knowing doggone well God was going to come through for you. And then when you get up out that pit, watch how the very same people that was claiming that like they wanted the best for you, watch their faces, look at them, watch them. It'll tell you everything that you need to know. It'll tell you, because you sometimes when you're in that pit or you're in a dark space of your life, and again, you could have been lied to since birth. So your perception of reality, again, you might be conflicted and you'll be confused in your life because your inner is telling you one thing about people, but the external is telling you something completely different. And so you are in this conundrum because you don't understand which one. And then people will, again, their whole mission, especially when you're young, is to program you to never look within. They want to invalidate you as much as possible to make you think that you don't know what you're doing. You don't know what you're talking about. You're stupid. You slow. You this. You that. You all these negative things. They don't want you to look inside because they know damn well that the moment you do, you're gonna find God. They know damn well that the moment that you do, they lose all their power. This is why they set you up with the mentality that you need to be more so focused on what other people think about you. You need to be more focused on the validation of other people. And when you do that, they keep you in this guilt cycle. You can't see clearly. You can't see through the floor. It's dark clouds all up over you. You cannot see. Therefore, you're going to be making decisions that's completely backwards from what God wants you to actually do. That's how the devil will get at you. And so you might be in these seasons for a long period of time, and that guilt is on you. They're like heavy shackles. And people, if you even remotely get out of shape, whoosh, everybody will jump on you. And then when you say something, and you strike back, you get up and you defend yourself, people acting like you're evil. They're acting like you're doing something wrong. They're acting like that you're overreacting, you're tripping. You don't see what you see. They will be offended when you defend yourself. They will be absolutely offended when you have the nerve to actually sit there and defend yourself. Let's think about it this way. They mindset is like, you ain't got no right to do nothing. You ain't got no right to da. And you might be in this paradigm for a while, and you might have caught on when you were essentially being young to move and operate in such a way, because people ain't got your back. You might be timid in this. You feel like nobody got your back. You feel like you all out here on your own. And to a large degree in this world, yeah, most of the time you are. Most of the time you are. But in the spirit, you got God. You know what I'm saying? Like, you always got God. You always got God. And you won't know that at times in your life, especially in those pit seasons when you got them dark clouds over you and you believe in what people telling you, and your inner is telling you something completely different, but the world is saying something else. And it's not only to God come in and he set the record straight. He removed those clouds, those dark clouds over your head. And now you can see clearly. Now you realize that the guilt that you had was never yours. People were doing it to you. They were throwing their demons onto you. These people, they were condemning you and you've done nothing wrong. But they wanted you to think that you were inherently flawed. These people, they knew one of their biggest powers over you was the love and the validation they could have gave to you. And again, you got to understand this from the perspective, and God will give you the opportunity to see this when you have so much time in that pit season. The reason why you sometimes are in time periods in your life for so long, one of the reasons is, there's multiple reasons, but one of the biggest reasons is that God gives people the ability to do right by you, and he also gives you the ability to see better. Because what people will do is when they thinking that they're winning in life, when they think that they're getting over on you, when they think that they got you in the bag, they think that like they can keep on telling lies and they be getting away with it for so long. People, they show their true character. When people are in positions of power over you, it shows you a lot about their character. It shows you a lot about who they truly are, not who they try to profess themselves out to be, not who they try to act like they are, who they truly are. And the reason why this time period is so important, when they have the power or they feel like they have the power, is because they have no incentive to help you. They have no incentives to do right by you. They don't know who you truly are, and they don't know what you really can do. They feel like you by yourself, and you might think you by yourself. They thinking that you're too slow or stupid or whatever the case may be. They thinking that they got you outnumbered, that they got people lying on you and talking about you in a certain type of way that is false, is fake. But in general, like, they think it like they just got it in the bag, and as a result, you might sometimes feel that. But these people, they will become very cocky, very, very I don't know how to say it, like they're very confident in their activities towards you. Like they stop to even care. They have little respect. And this is so important that God sometimes needs you to go through these time periods, and the reason being is because he's trying to show you. He's trying to show you without a shadow of a doubt who people are. When people do that stuff over a long period of time, when they're acting in a certain type of way, when they feel like they're winning over you, they have power over you, they feel like that you'll never get up, and that they're tricking you. They feel like they got everything else made. They feel like they're just in a power position over you. They show you their true character. They feel like you ain't got nothing to offer them. They show you your true character, and they show you it over a long period of time. And this is why God wants you to be in those cycles, because he's getting you to watch people in a silent way. You're learning. You're silent and you're learning. And you're watching people over long periods of time. And this is so important, is because now that you're watching people over long periods of time, you can see clearly and without a shadow of a doubt who people truly are, not who they're trying to profess that they are, not who they're trying to come back in and they're automatically changing, and now they're the perfect peach. Now they want to deal with you in some way, shape, or form. Now they want to be a part of your life, but they didn't want to do that stuff when they felt like they was better than you. They didn't want to do that stuff when they felt like they was getting over on you. They didn't want to do none of that stuff. They didn't want to be around you. They didn't want to talk to you. They didn't want to do none of that stuff because they felt like they was better than you, and they thought that they was winning. They thought that they had everybody else on the payroll. And so they treated you for better and worse. And they showed you exactly how they would treat you, how they want to treat you, how they feel about you. They got a saying that like people will treat you how they feel about you. That's very much true. People will treat you exactly how they feel about you. Make no mistake about it. So that's why when you're watching people's behavior, especially in this time period, God needs you to watch people, because they will expose themselves for who they truly are and how they truly feel about you. Because when God gives you the ability to see, you see them so clearly. They can't backpedal. That's why that time is so important. They can't backpedal. They can't act like they didn't know what they was doing. They can't act like that. They can't act like it was just a one-time thing and then like they were, no. That's why God gives time for you in them. They can't just say that it was an accident. When you see they did it consistently over long periods of time, when they felt like when they felt like they were beating you, when they feel like you were never gonna go anywhere, when they feel like they had the upper hand over you, they showed you exactly who they were and how they felt about you. But once God gets you dropped out that pit, he wants you to watch those same people and how their tune changes, like they're a whole new person. They now want to humble themselves towards you. Now they got respect in their voice. Now they coming at you in a certain type of way. Why are they doing that? It's not because it's genuine. It's because they realize they didn't break you. or they want to come back in and try to destroy you yet again. This is why they're doing it. They want to get on the gravy train before it leaves the station. They can see who you truly are and who you've been the whole time. Now people, they switching their tunes. They can see you truly now, but the thing is you also can see them truly now, and it's a done deal for them. You remove the guilt. You got to remove the guilt. And sometimes that's one of your biggest tests in life, is to remove the guilt that was never yours. You have to remove the guilt of leaving people behind. Remove it. You cannot look at people purely from their flesh, because it will get you to make bad decision after bad decision after bad decision, because you're basing it based off of what title that person got. But when the shoe was on the other foot and these people felt like they had power over you, and they did have power, and they were big and bad to do whatever, they showed you in every conceivable way they didn't give a damn about that title. They showed you in every conceivable way how they would destroy you, how they will go against you, how they don't like you, how they're trying to do all this manner of evil towards you. They've showed you as clear as day when they feel like they was winning. And that's why it's so important to look at people from their spirit, because those titles don't matter. Blood will kill you. Blood will kill you. People that got the same skin tone as you will kill you. The one you laying in the bed with will kill you. Those people you're working with will kill you. This community will kill you. And they've shown you what they think about you and what they would rather do when they feel like they better than you, and they feel like they got more power than you, when they feel like you ain't got no worth. Half of these people know that you got worth, and they just happy to see you in the ditch, because they think like, even though you got worth, you'll never come up out that slump. And they contributed to helping you get into that pit. They think that you ain't gonna never get up out of there. That's why they will show you their ass. And it's why it's so important to watch these people at this period of time. It's to watch them. And God got you in these cycles and these time periods for you to watch them. You need to watch them, because they cannot backpedal and try to change their behavior now. They can't act like they're for you now. They can't act like it was just a mistake and they just made it one time mistake. They showed you over a consistent period of time, and they had the same repetitive behavior over and over and over and over and over again. And why is that so important? Because another component of that guilt, another one of your biggest tests before you move forward in life, is, can you put that guilt away and start to remove people that need to be gone? Can you put it away? People will play on it. That devil will play on it, because the guilt goes back to your flesh. It's a, you know what I mean? Like, you feel guilty. And so if they can make you feel guilty, you're more likely to break your boundaries and allow people that ain't got no best interest for you to come right back in and destroy you. And so and when you're understanding that, you got to remove people without the guilt. You got to look at their behaviors and be real with yourself about who people are, regardless of who they are. If a person is a human being on this earth and they spirit ain't right, they ain't got God in them, or whatever the case may be, if they letting that damn devil ride their back, if they not really truly trying to work on themselves, and their spirits is low and they see you and they feel some type of way, they will attack you and destroy you if they have the ability to do so. They only gonna come back and treat you a different way just because they see now they could never break you, that God was truly on your side the entire time, that you was truly who you were the entire time, who you told people that you were. So in all that, you gotta take that guilt and you gotta remove it. Just like how you take fear and you remove it, you take the guilt away. God will take that guilt away. Trust me, believe me, he will take that guilt away. He'll take it. That shame, he'll take it all away. He'll give you the confidence again. And he'll give you the ability to get up and go do what you need to do in this world. He already had a plan for you to make it, to do in this world. And leaving people that had no best interest for you, that were trying to tear you down since day one. He wants you to get away from this and look at people through their spirit, not their flesh. Not their flesh. Because if you only look at these people from their flesh, you will always find yourself on the losing end, because you cannot see. You're allowing the love that you got for people, you're allowing the guilt. You got to understand that those godlike qualities and things of that nature, you got to use them sparingly and wisely. You cannot give them necessarily to everybody, because everybody, they don't look at life in the way that you do. Again, they ain't got God like you got God. They don't understand the value and the importance of it. What they look at them as is a weakness. Weak points. If I can use guilt against you, I'm going to come in and use it. If I can use love as a way to come back in and snake you, I'm going to do it. If I can use other people, like I can use family, I will do it. Whatever entry point I can get in and get at you, that's exactly what I'm going to do. And so that's why it's so important to look at people from their spirit, not their flesh. Because the spirit can't hide from you. Flesh can hide. Flesh can hide. But their spirit can't. Their spirit can't. How do you know what the spirit is? It's because you align their actions up with the spirit of God. You line them up. And you'll see very quickly that a lot of these doggone behavioral traits and stuff like that of people is not of God. It's not of God. And so it's so much easier. You recognize, okay, this is who it is. This is who these people are. Da, 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 da. You categorize them and then you make adjustments accordingly. You remove the guilt. You remove it, you know, but you it's just a journey in your life that you're gonna have to go on and learn these very tough lessons and truly grasp and understand what I'm saying, you know, about this lecture is just understand, like, again, like how powerful guilt can be, and that you don't have to feel guilty for being who you are on this earth. You don't have to feel guilty for being who God told you to be on this earth. You don't have to feel guilty for having the gifts. No, it's the very opposite. You should celebrate it and thank God in heaven that he gave it to you, that he blessed you with that. It's not to put yourself down, it's to build yourself up. People who see those gifts in you, they're coming against you not because of you. They're coming against you because of the spirit inside of you. They coming up against you because they know damn well that they feel like they sold their soul. Again, it's not like they physically or they conjured up the devil or something. What I'm saying is they went against who they personally are for the world. They gave up who they truly are. They gave up their dreams and aspirations for the world. And they don't like the fact that they did that. They hate that. And they can't look at themselves in the mirror, i.e. they cannot look at you. So this is why they got all this hostility and anger and hatred for you when you ain't do a damn thing to them. This is why they have all this jealousy and envy when they have way more than you. Because it has nothing to do with the physical, it has everything to do with the spiritual. And they know they bankrupt and they know they ain't got a damn thing to their name in the spiritual. But they see that you're rich and you're abundant. So they want to steal it away. They want to break you down and try to change you into them. Just like the damn devil. They want you to be miserable just as them. They want you to forfeit your life, your destiny, your goals, and what God has given you and everything like that. They want you to forfeit it, throw it away for the world. And when you don't conform and you don't bow down and you don't allow yourself to get walked all over, to be a damn doormat, like you're public enemy number one. But the thing is, you got to be grateful for that and thank God in heaven, because trust and believe me, when you're a friend of the world, you're the enemy to God. But when you're a friend of God, you're an enemy to the world. So I'll catch y'all on the flip side. Peace.